morning. Welcome back to my channel. I am your host, Kayla Nicole 999. I am still trying to play catch up on these videos. So this is going to be the video for day 8. Today is Monday, November 23rd. Day 8 technically would have been Saturday, November 21st. But my life is busy and hectic and I can't always make videos every day. So I was supposed to make 3 videos yesterday. I only got 1 video created. I've been having some really bad GI issues and I'm not exactly sure what's causing them. So yesterday was not a great day for me. Feeling much better this morning, thankfully. So I started taking some stuff called Crantum, and apparently if you take too much, it can cause GI issues, but I've been taking the recommended dosage, so I'm not sure that Crantum is causing it. I also had food intolerances. I haven't been eating like I was supposed to. I'm trying to get back on track. I get really busy and then eat fast food. I will be making some videos though on both Crantum and food intolerances. And then I try to pack a snack for myself when I do my driving jobs, but I don't know when it was. I feel like it's been like a week though, so I don't think this is it, but maybe, who knows. Anyway, I didn't pack a snack one night when I was at work and I got really, really hungry. And so I stopped at 7-Eleven and I bought these taquitos, which I shouldn't be eating the taquitos in the first place. And then I took one bite into the taquitos and I realized that they had been on that roller for way too long. You know, they were hard and crunchy and they shouldn't be hard and crunchy. But I'm stressed financially and I had already paid for them and I was hungry. So I ate them anyway and I may have done a lot of damage to myself eating taquitos. My GI stuff started shortly after, but food poisoning stuff shouldn't last for a week. So I have no insurance. I cannot go to the doctor, so I rely heavily on natural remedies unless my natural remedies do not fix my problems. So currently I am using some essential oils, and I am using essential oils internally. And we're not going to discuss that much because I am not a certified aromatherapist in the practice of using essential oils internally. I am this close to being a certified aromatherapist, but I did not cover the internal use. What I do want to briefly talk about is there are a lot of people out there that will advise you to take essential oils internally. And this can be dangerous. So the way that they advise you to take them, a lot of times people will be like, oh, just put a drop in your water. Don't do that. Please don't do that. It can really actually irritate and cause damage to your mucous membranes, which your mucous membranes are incredibly important. So if you are going to take essential oils internally, I would suggest that you consult a certified aromatherapist who practices the internal use of essential oils, which is not me. But if you don't do that, I'm going to tell you, please don't use more than 1 drop. Research the oil and make sure that first of all it is safe to take internally, and do not ever mix with water. Please put it in some oil. You can also put it in a capsule, but I really suggest diluting 1 drop in a teaspoon, tablespoon of whatever oil of your choice. I personally use avocado oil. You could use olive oil, whatever. Anyway, that is not the topic of this video, but just please be safe when using essential oils. We're going to dive into that in the future because I'm actually going to be creating a website to sell my aromatherapy products, and I'm going to be putting all of that on this channel eventually, sometime, someday, you know, me and my busy life. Anyway, so I told you in yesterday's video that I had some exciting things going on in my life and I was super busy. Well, let's dive into that. So what are the exciting things going on in my life? And you know, I forgot to mention it, but by the way, yes, okay, so this is technically the video for day 8 of 90 days of recovery after narcissistic abuse. I cannot talk this morning, you guys. Anyway, thanks for being patient with me as I learn how to create these videos, because this isn't something that I do and I don't script them yet. It would be a lot easier if I just scripted them and had a teleprompter app. I don't have that at this time. We'll get to that. So what are my exciting things going on? Well, guys, I'm a writer. and I never thought I was going to be a writer. So you can now find my writing on vocal.media/Kayla-Nicole-999, and I'm just gonna go ahead and put that link into the description of this video so you can find it if you want to check up with me. I do want to let you know that at the moment, my writing is all based on adult content creating. I'm probably going to write some erotic stories, and there's going to be a lot of adult content on my writing. However, that's not all that I'm going to talk about. I am going to talk about food intolerances. I am going to talk about how I treated my mental illness, depression, anxiety, CPTSD naturally with amino acids. I'm going to talk about Crantum because that has helped me so much with ADHD and PTSD, you guys, and I didn't even know it was going to help me, but that is a huge topic for another day. I'm going to be talking about my abuse experience and, just my life. It's my vocal.media account is going to be basically like this YouTube account, and I actually linked to some of my YouTube videos. So let's go into how I became a writer. I used to vent on Facebook, and I didn't do it often, but people began telling me that I should create a blog, and I said, yeah, maybe someday, but there's so much work that goes into creating a blog. Yes, you can have somebody build it for you. However, I completed a computer coding bootcamp in 2018. So I'm like little Miss Perfectionist, and I want to do everything myself. So, I was like, well, I got to build the blog, and I got to do this, and my computer coding skills, they really aren't that great because I haven't done too much with it in the last few years because I never got a job in the industry. And computer coding is one of those things that if you don't keep up on it, you lose it. I mean, it's just like math. How many of you can remember how to do some of those hard algebra equations from years ago that you haven't even looked at in years? You got to keep using it in order to retain it. So anyway, I just kept putting it off and putting it off and putting it off. And then the blow up with my narcissistic best friend happened. For those of you that don't know, I ended up falling in love with my best friend's ex-boyfriend 2 years after they broke up. It was unintentional. We're going to talk about that more in a different story. We'll talk about the details, and they're out there in other videos, but we'll discuss the actual events. Anyway, he was pursuing me. I want to let everybody know that. It wasn't me just going after him. I didn't mean for it to happen. It happened, and it ended really badly when she eventually found out. And yes, we were hiding it from her. It was wrong that we were hiding it from her. I will fully acknowledge that. However, I knew she was absolutely going to lose it when she found out. And there's all kinds of reasons as to why. We were trying to hide it from her because she had a lot going on in her life, and it just wasn't a good time to tell her. It wasn't that we didn't intend to tell her. I fully intended to tell her at some point. I just wanted her to be in a really good place. Anyway, enough on that. So when the blow up happened, when she found out, first, she immediately called me a piece of shit. I bit my tongue, didn't say anything. I let her be angry. I was upset that she would think of me like that, but I let it go. She then gave me the silent treatment for weeks. I finally unfriended her on social media. She wouldn't talk to me. She was mad at me. Well, when she did start to talk to me again, she literally lost it on me for unfriending her on social media. She'd also been stalking my social media post and was upset about my social media post, which were nothing more than motivational memes trying to pick myself up. Because not only was she mad at me, the guy that I fell in love with completely stopped talking to me too. I still to this day don't know what happened. She convinced him and all of our other friends that I'm this terrible person, and everybody dropped out of my life. I was also about to be homeless. I didn't know where I was going to live. I didn't know how I was going to pay my bills. I was in severe debt from this computer coding boot camp that I wasn't finding a job at. I did get a job, but it was a very part-time 10-hour-a-week teaching job, which was not going to pay my bills. My life was a mess at this moment. I tried to let it go. I really tried to let it go. You know, I wasn't posting my own writing. I wasn't writing about the situation at all. I was literally just posting these motivational memes, trying to pick myself up and trying to make myself feel better so I could move on. Well, fast forward to a couple weeks after she found out. So I had people dropping out of my life. People were just unfriending me on Facebook and Instagram without ever even asking for my side of the story, okay? They just believed whatever she said about me, and I still to this day do not have a clue what she was saying about me. But then my cars got vandalized while sitting in my driveway. She couldn't have done it herself. She was out of the country, but she was one of the only people who had my address. One of the cars was keyed all the way down the passenger side. The other car, I can't prove that it was them, but the lower control arm was somehow cut in half. Don't ask me how that happened. And there were shavings in my transmission. Now, thankfully, I used to work in the car industry. I had family in the car industry. I got that key mark fixed for $25, thankfully, because that car was a rental. They keyed a rental car that had a $2,500 deductible on it, and she knew it was a rental, and she knew it had a $2,500 deductible. But happy ending. And happy ending, I still had an extended warranty on my other car, and I was able to get all of that damage fixed under warranty because there was $10,000 worth of damage to that car. Yeah. We'll dive more into all of this in a different story. So that happened. I still tried to just walk away, right? You know? I didn't know at the time, but they were monitoring my social media accounts, at least things I was posting publicly. But I still wasn't saying anything. But I began to get more and more angry because she was using the man that I fell in love with for money. They weren't even together anymore, but he was still providing financial support to her. She was about to marry another man, you guys, and he was still providing financial support to her. She used everyone, and I knew that she used everyone. And I was 35. I was 35 at the time. Or about to turn 35. Yeah, no, this happened in September. The fallout happened in September of 2018. And I was going to be turning 35 in March of 2019. And after years and years and years of just watching her treat absolutely everybody like shit, I just couldn't handle it anymore. So eventually I started writing about the situation, and because I knew that they were stalking me on social media, I made the post public because I'm not the type of person who is going to say bad things behind your back. I'm going to say it in a place where you're going to see it. And her and I weren't speaking anymore. I was not stalking her, but she was stalking me. So I said, you know, if you're going to trash me behind my back, then we're just going to clear the air. I don't necessarily advise you doing this, you guys. It's not the way, okay? I called her out as being a narcissist. I called her out for so much stuff publicly on social media. I didn't use her name in the posts at first. Eventually, I did end up putting in her name because the stalking and harassment of me continued for 2 years. It was still going on as of a week ago. I finally got it to settle down, but I couldn't handle it anymore. I didn't have any video proof of my cars being damaged. I did have a Ring doorbell, but it didn't catch the scene in my driveway. So I had no way to tie it to them. And again, like I said, it couldn't have been her, but she has a friend, a female friend, who has been known to go out and slash tires when a man decides that he doesn't want to be with her anymore. So I'm pretty sure she gave my address to her female friend, and I'm pretty sure she had either that female friend or another friend come and damage my cars. I don't know that that female friend would have been able to cut my lower control arm, but I also don't trust that female friend's boyfriend. Unfortunately, it also possibly could have been the man that I fell in love with who did it. It was somebody from that group. That's all I know. So there was nothing that could be done on the cars. They went as far as eventually creating a computer bot to attack my public Facebook page. They gained access into my Facebook page by creating fake accounts and trying to develop relationships with me through these fake accounts, and I stupidly accepted them. And then all of a sudden, my Facebook page was just filled with thousands upon thousands upon thousands of friends requests. This wasn't until August of 2019. This is one of the ways they tried to shut me up. They didn't want me talking. I didn't know how to respond to it, so instead of just deleting the Facebook friends request, I said, well, if I get 1,000 or 5,000 friends, then they won't be able to send me anymore. So I stupidly started accepting a bunch, which was an idiotic move on my part. Anyway, so then my messenger was being flooded. They were sending me very inappropriate pictures. They were calling me nonstop. This computer bot was hell. I reached out to Facebook. Facebook did absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. So I started blocking these accounts. And then I got blocked from blocking because I was blocking too many accounts while Facebook was doing nothing for me. It was incredibly frustrating. I eventually got it dealt with. And I did. I deactivated my Facebook for a while after that. But then I came back and I said, you know what? No, I'm not going to let these people stop me. So I kept writing and I kept writing, and I call it rage writing because I wasn't saying the nicest things in it, you know. It was not an appropriate conversation to have. I was calling her derogatory names. It was bad on my part. However, I wouldn't have done it if they would have just left me alone. Does that justify it? No, it doesn't justify it. But what happened was the writing helped me to heal. I was making some very inappropriate jokes because I am, you know, I have a very inappropriate sense of humor, you guys. And honestly, sometimes joking about your own trauma can actually help you to heal. I was suffering major depression, major PTSD at the time, but, you know, those jokes, they were helping me to laugh, and the laughter was helping me to feel better. Please do not joke about somebody else's trauma, okay? That's a no-no. Don't do it. However, joking about your own trauma, that for some people can be healing. So I kept writing and I kept writing and I kept writing. And then some people started to reach out to me and they started to confide in me, you know? They started to tell me their stories and they appreciated my honesty. They appreciated my courage to tell these stories. You know, some people, it helped them immensely. One person was able to identify that her husband was abusive, although he had never physically hit her. But he was very psychologically and emotionally and verbally abusive. And that person is no longer with that man. Other people started telling me that I should blog. And they started telling me that I should write a book. One of those people who told me that I should write a book is my uncle, who is a published writer. And that made me feel really great, you guys, because I never thought my writing was that good. I have a 7th grade education. I dropped out of school the first time in 7th grade. I went back. I did eventually get my GED, and I did eventually take some college courses, but I never graduated. So I've always been embarrassed by my writing. I didn't think my writing was that great. But there's tools that can help you become a better writer. I didn't know how much that rage writing was going to heal me. It was the best therapy ever. I was in therapy for much of my life, but when I lost insurance, I didn't have money for therapy. I still have an incredible therapist. I adore my therapist. And we're going to talk more about the forms of therapy that I did in other videos. But I didn't have money to go see her. Even though she offered a sliding scale, I still couldn't afford her. That writing literally saved my life. So I don't necessarily suggest that you write publicly on Facebook. That may be much more detrimental for you. For me, I was not going to write those things privately. I tried journaling. I tried journaling and I don't know. You know, I could never get in the practice of it. I do an intentions journal, but that's just I am statements. I am beautiful. I am intelligent. I am successful. I do that every morning. But actually sitting down and writing in a journal, it just wasn't for me. I tried it many times over and over again. However, I'm going to suggest that you try writing in a private journal before you ever start writing publicly on the internet, unless you are strong enough to deal with the ramifications that could come from writing about your stories publicly on the internet. And they could help people. That's what ended up happening. So I continued writing on Facebook until just recently. I had come across an ad on Instagram for vocal.media, and it said that they pay content creators to write their stories, share their stories. And I was like, well, I mean, I'm already doing this, but I just didn't do it, you know? I was still stuck in that mindset that my writing is not good enough. Like, who wants to pay me? And you get paid per read, you guys. You don't get paid a lot. It literally takes 1,000 reads to even earn $3.80, and you do not get a payout until you've accumulated enough to earn $35, or enough reads to earn $35. So I'm not saying that I'm gonna make a ton of money off of my writing, but when I got put in Facebook jail over a stupid joke that totally is it's okay on their community guidelines, but they say it's not. Their community guidelines clearly state if something is posted for humor, then it's okay. I only posted it for humor. I was not soliciting sexual services, which is what they think that I was doing. Basically, the joke that I posted said, if you're going to send me an inappropriate picture of then send me a $5 viewing fee to Venmo, because I won't open it otherwise. The reason I posted that is because I get all kinds of guys, being a sex worker, I get all kinds of guys just sending me unsolicited pictures, and I don't want them. I don't want them. Okay. However, I was not actually trying to solicit any type of sexual services on Facebook. I was joking about it. I put a laughy face, I didn't even link to my Venmo. It was literally a joke. And it's really frustrating to me that these guys can send you these pictures on Facebook, but then you try to joke about it in a humorous way, to release your irritation from it. And then you're the one who gets in trouble. Facebook, do something about that, please. Anyway, moving on. So when I kept saying I was gonna write on Vocal, but I didn't. So when I went into Facebook jail for 30 days, I was like, well, what am I gonna do now? I still need to release my emotions in some way. I finally just bit the bullet. I was terrified, but I wrote my first story on Vocal, and I haven't even been doing it to release my emotions. I've kind of just been writing about me, and I did a sex toy review. And I'm getting reads, you guys. Like, I haven't even earned $1 yet. I think at the moment I've earned like 24 cents, but it made me feel really good. So, I'm not saying become a professional writer. I am just saying get out there and face your fears. And you never know where something could go. Writing is seriously one of the best ways for me to release my emotions. And as far as being sorry for everything that I posted publicly on Facebook, I'm not. if I had been posting those things without them saying anything about me, without them talking behind my back, without my cars being vandalized, without my apartment being unlawfully entered twice, then of course I would feel bad. But, you know, they were harassing me. They were stalking me. And I'm not going to feel bad for sharing my stories, because my stories did eventually help people. And, you know, someone that I love dearly was able to leave an abusive relationship easier because she realized that she was being abused thanks to me sharing my stories. So on that, you guys, thanks for joining me. I'm going to try to get these other 2 videos created, but I haven't decided the topics yet. I'm really trying hard to catch up. If you like this video, please be sure to give me a thumbs up. If you didn't like this video, give me a thumbs down. Chat with me in the comments, you know, tell me about your experiences, or ask me questions, or, you know, tell me what you liked or didn't like about the video. And if you did like my videos and you want to stay connected with me, then please be sure to hit that subscribe button. I have 2 videos that I am going to link to. One is a TED Talk on anger. The other one is about 30 days of journaling. I think writing is really one of the most beneficial ways to release your anger, you guys, you know? All of these amazing things started happening to me once I started releasing my anger in writing, you know? I used to have road rage issues, but now I just let it go, you know? If somebody's on my ass in traffic, I just let it go, and I get over when I can to get away from them instead of getting really mad about it. I used to react really badly. I had a terrible temper. Growing up with a narcissist and jumping from abusive relationship to abusive relationship, I had a terrible temper. But writing has been so incredibly healing for me. So I really suggest that you at least try it. Anyway, thanks for joining me, you guys. I hope you have a wonderful day, morning, afternoon, evening, whatever time it is while you are watching me, and I will see you again real soon.